Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another wonderful moment with Vibe TV, where we do bring the real story behind the headline. And what's making the headline today? What's really making the headline? A trendy political commentary by outspoken political figure who we all know, Kenneth Okonkwo, is currently generating a lot of reaction online after he accused the government of failing Nigerians on electricity. Not just failing Nigeria on electricity alone, he isolating itself from the suffering of ordinary Nigerians, ordinary citizens, and even making moves that could allege pave the way for prolonged political control. From the electrical crisis to billions reportedly being spent on powering Aso Rock with solar energy. There you have it, right? Which means literally Aso Rock will be controlled, that the electric generating power will be based on as solar system. And concern involving Senate through amendment linked to Senate Akpabio. This discussion is already dividing opinion on social media on all platforms. So in today's video, we will break down everything that was said in everything he said during that political commentary, what he actually meant by that. So, but this is Vibe TV, where we do bring the real story behind the headline. Please subscribe, share this video, and tell me your thoughts on the comment section. So let's dive down. One of the biggest issues raised was Nigeria electricity situation. That was one of the major things he said in that video, because he stated it clear that Tinubu campaigns heavily promises of improving electric supply and solving the long-term standing power crisis affecting Nigeria. But now, critics argue that the reality on ground has not matched the expectation many Nigerians has before the election, because that was one of his major promises. He provided that he will provide steady electricity, he will give Nigerian electricity, and if not done, he should not be voted the second time. That was one of the biggest promises he made to Nigerians based on electricity. The speaker claimed that if the government knew it would struggle to provide stable electricity, then such promises should never have been made during campaigns. And honestly, this is a sensitive issue for millions of Nigerians. Business are struggling with diesel, not just diesel, fuel, generator. Some are even switching to solar due to the unstable electricity condition in Nigeria. So small shop owners spend huge amounts daily just to keep generators running. Students cannot study properly during blackout. Even internet business and content creators complain constantly about unstable power supply. There is the supply of power in Nigeria is basically unstable. Sometimes you go a month without seeing a light. So that's basically what he's saying, that many Nigerians are are really complaining about it. It is directly connected to survival and economic growth, because this is one of the major things that boosts the economy. This is one of the major things that many people rely on. So another major allegation he dropped is that spark and that raised eyebrow was the claim that billions of naira are allegedly being spent on solar energy, that is solar power too, which will power the whole of Aso Rock. So according to the criticism, the move appears designed to project the president, his family, and the presidential villa from the same electricity problem ordinary Nigerians have faced. That is to detach them. You promise a country, you promise the citizen a steady power supply. Then why going into solar? Why drifting, isolating yourself? You also, which means you're indirectly encouraging everyone to go and get solar. You promise steady electricity, and you are the one running from that electricity, switching to solar. This particular point really triggered online, because some people argue that there is nothing wrong with using solar energy at the presidential villa, because many countries invest heavily in solar backup and alternative energy for critical government facility. But others saw it differently. Critics question why ordinary citizens continue suffering from the electricity. So you know that as the president of the country, so what are you now telling the people you promised steady electricity? Which means there is not even hope. You now detaching from the national grid, which means the promise you made is not a stable one. It's not a one that the citizens can hold on. So it's more of like saying that the citizens should just go and fend for themselves. So perhaps the most controversial part of the statement was the allegation suggesting fears of a possible lifetime presidency. So because that was part of one of the things he said in the video. So let's be clear, this was presented as a political opinion and concern, not a confirmed fact. The speaker, like he argued that increased security around the president family and even certain political development could suggest attempt to build a heavily protected political structures around the the president, because he argued that a lot of, like, now the kind of president alone, the government, the president goes around, not just only him, even his family members, like the kind of security they move around with can even stop, like can even stop the security challenges we are having in Nigeria, because he moves out with massive security. The people are like, he's not just only him, he and his family members are fully guided. So, what is the fate of the common man? So, the final issue he's raised also involved recent attempt within the Senate to amend Senate rules. So, Akpabio was specifically mentioned during the criticism. According to the allegation, such legislative adjustment could become the foundation for wider political consultation, like for constitutional change in the future. Which, if they can make such kind of move, which means the constitution can be changed at any time to suit their interests. So, guys, what do you think about these allegations and reaction? Do you believe the criticism are valid concerns Nigeria should take serious, or do you think it's simply opposition politics aimed at weakening the President Tinubu? So, what do you guys really think about this issue, about this commentary of Kenneth Okonkwo? Because he's always blunt with his comment. Tell me what you really thought about this on the comment section, and see you in my next video.